It's time for the Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John live stream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well yeah, it's the Trucker John live stream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John live stream is the best thing you've ever seen. It's time for the Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John live stream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well yeah, it's the Trucker John live stream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John live stream is the best thing you've ever seen.
Project 2025 would dismantle democracy as we know it.
He says, "You're not going to be a dictator, are you?" I said, "No, no, no, other than day one."
Is a vision of implementing a startlingly authoritarian form of the U.S. government.
Same thing with the unions. They get their little 5%. They get another 2%. They get another 3%, 4%. Then all of a sudden they're making more money than the people that own the company.
Do you do larger cuts, corporate cuts?
Yeah, I was planning on doing it. In fact,
You believe in punishment for abortion, yes or no, as a principle?
there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
What's at stake here is democracy itself. It's now Donald Trump's party. And if he's elected, the consequences will be catastrophic.
such a flagrant, toxic narcissist that he wants to take down the entire democratic system with him if he goes.
And I didn't need little Bruce Springsteen and all of these.
Are you surprised that he's trash talking you after all this time?
Not really.
Yeah.
Anything's possible. The stewardship of the nation has been thrown away to somebody who doesn't have a clue as to what that means.
Bruce Springsteen, we have a much bigger crowd than Bruce Springsteen, right? Much bigger. Hillary got Bruce Springsteen, I'll never forget. And the place was pretty full. Not full like our places are full. And I don't have a guitar.
It was okay. It was so worth it. There is no one you would rather go to a Springsteen concert in Jersey with than him. Than that guy. Brooks.
For me, the transformational piece of music was Bruce Springsteen's The River.
Okay.
Which is a journey. You know all the tracks.
Yeah.
And I'm that guy.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Trucker John. Okay, hopefully it's working. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me. If you would, that'd be great. All righty, guys. How y'all doing? Looks like Roxanne Armfield first in the chat this morning, as per usual. Michael McAndrews is in there. Hello, Michael. Let me rearrange my stuff here. Let's see. Michael McAndrews says, so the other day I saw this guy and he was eating my neighbor's cat. Did he look anything like RFK Jr.? That would be my number one suspect, because that guy seems to like to eat just anything that he comes upon. Whales' heads, dogs, bears, whatever. Why not some cats? Yeah, my number one suspect, RFK Jr. in that whole thing. Carrie C is here. Good morning, Carrie C. William, good to see William in the old driver's lounge here. I guess you guys can hear me. I don't want to do like liberal Dan did last night and go on for about 10 minutes without the audio working. Jolie's here. Good to see Jolie. Thanks for being here, Jolie. Let's see here. Walter McCarovich is here. Hey, Walter. Good to see you. Walter says, hey, Trucker John and hi, Truckers Lounge. Did you see the news? They caught them 3 Venezuelans in Ohio. Kennedy, Vance, and Trump eating cats and dogs. MAGA is a big joke. Jackie's here. Good morning to Jackie. Hello, Pamela. Pamela's here in the chat, in the driver's lounge. Says, I didn't keep a tally on Trump's catchphrases because I was rolling on the floor laughing or standing and cheering. What a night. Oh, what a night. It was a good night. It was a good night. Sayal's here. Trucker John the sellout. He's just an Uber driver. Laughing my fucking ass off. That's it, man. I'm just an Uber driver. I'm just a lowly little simple Uber driver. I don't know about the sellout part, but I guess you're half right. Mod Days here. Good to see Mod. Morning all. Morning back at you. Roxanne, coming to my defense. Thank you, Roxanne. Say how good morning and don't be mean to Trucker John. Thank you, Roxanne. I appreciate that. Hey, Robert Perez is here. Good to see Robert. It says howdy, Trucker John, and all the truckers out and about. Always good to see Robert in the chat room, the driver's lounge. MJ Daniels here. Good to see MJ. One of my favorites from Hee Haw. Hey, Grandpa, what's for supper? Yum, yummy. Was there something about cats in that, or Andrew Petrie's here. Hey, Andrew. Good morning. Oh, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Or wherever you're at. Afternoon. Good evening. You never know. You just never know in this driver's lounge. We got people from all over the world that occasionally drop in. Robert Perez says, I'm suffering from kidney stone, and that feels like a constant kick to the balls. Wow. Well, sorry to hear that, Robert, and I hope you get well soon. Hope you pass those stones soon. You know what? I've never was diagnosed with having kidney stones, but I'm pretty sure I was out on the road. This is like a few years ago. And I went through some fucking painful shit. Like, I think for a few days, and I was just on the road, and I didn't check myself anywhere. I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of talking out my ass here. No pun intended. If you actually, I don't know. I kind of felt like maybe I was passing a stone. So I never went to the doctor for it, so I don't know. But I was in excruciating pain for like, I want to say it was like a few days or something. And then it went away, and I was thinking, I was like, I wonder if I had like a kidney stone or something. And I, passed it. Because my brother had a kidney stone thing, and he was kind of like earlier, like a couple years earlier when we were still talking. And I remember he told me about his deal, and it kind of sounded, what I was going through kind of sounded like what he had been describing to me. So I thought, I wonder if I had a kidney stone. Anyhow, Teresa's here. I'm going to be eating lunch soon. Lunchtime here. Good to see you, Teresa, by the way. Thanks for being here. James Williams is here. James says good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Ha ha ha. Let's see here. Andrew Petrie. Oh, I already said hi, but I'll say hi again to Andrew Petrie. Keith Polite is here. Hello, Keith. Good to see you. Good morning. Keith says, howdy, John. Still basking in the post-debate glow. It was a really good one. It was a good one. I mean, I think mission accomplished as far as wiping the floor with Donald Trump's comb over, Seha says, never trust an Uber driver named Trucker John with your pet cat. Wow, just rolling them off. Just rolling just a whole bunch of stuff in there. Absolutely, Seha. I think that's good advice. MJ Daniel, roadkill feeds the brain worms. Pamela says, Robert, that sucks. Hope it passes soon. Julie says, to like, subscribe, and share, and I wholeheartedly agree. I agree wholeheartedly. Like, subscribe, and share, and all that good stuff. We're up to 3,350 some odd subscribers, and it's all because of good folks like you. You come on here and you spend some time with me, and we shoot the shit. We hang out, and we have a good old time. So thanks for being here. And make sure you help grow the show here by sharing and liking and all that stuff. Rubber Bear Pond is here. Said, what's up, you bunch of trucking truckers? Daniel Barry's here. Daniel's, I didn't say the whole name. Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. Hey, says Daniel. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. by the way. Denise Wilkins has joined us in the driver's lounge. Good morning, all. Hey, Trucker John. Did everyone catch the vampire Stephen Miller go? I did not. Where'd he go? Did he go back into his little coffin or something? You know how like vampires do. Yeah, that dude, talk about a creepy dude. A creepy looking dude. That dude. In the dictionary next to creepy is a picture of Stephen Miller. Seha says, laughing out loud, you know I'm an asshat. I love you, buddy. Oh, I love you too, Seha. I know you're being I know you're being humorous. I think. I hope. Hey, Chad Bostic's here. Morning, Chad. I'm feeling a little mellow this morning, I guess. I'm just kind of mellow. This might be a mellow show today. I don't know. Walter Makarovich says all the MAGA or Trump could come up with is the dictator Viktor Orban. I know. That was hilarious, Walter. I mean, kind of. But he's like, yeah, there's... I guess that was the response when Kamala Harris said, everyone's laughing at you. They don't respect you. None of the world leaders respect you. And he's like, well, Viktor Orban does. And I was like thinking, that's who you pulled out? Fucking Viktor Orban, who's a fucking dictator? I mean, his country might be technically a democracy or whatever, but he's pretty much taken that country over. And of course Trump likes that guy because that's what he wants to do to America. But yeah, that was funny. It's like, I was waiting for him to next say, hey, Putin likes me and whatever, or some other, maybe Putin wouldn't have been a bit, but he would have said like Erdogan. It would have been the next choice, I guess. Another real piece of work, Anyhow, Andrew Petrie, I live on Vancouver Island. That's right. I think I recall you telling me that. Vancouver Island, which sounds like a very pretty place. I think I've probably seen that in some movies and stuff, things of this nature. I think a few movies have been filmed over there. Philly 3000's here. Hey, Philly. Good to see Philly in the driver's lounge. William says Trump's performance was like an SNL skit. I don't think even their writers could come up with that. And the thing about it is that, I think Trump thinks that he comes off as being, like it's like nailed it. He thinks he nailed it, Let's see. Chad Bostic says, Jolie, I feel like one of these days we should share a joint and a Chinese buffet. Well, there you go. The great thing about Jolie is I think everybody wants to get high with Jolie and then go eat when you get the munchies. Go someplace nice and have a nice munchy fest. Seha says, I don't want to piss a rock. I had a bladder bleed, and they had to morphine me and keep flushing my bladder with the catheter. I thought I said cat hater. With the cat hater, with the catheter the size of your pinky. Ooh. That doesn't sound fun, because my pinky isn't really, can you imagine that? Andrew Peters said, I had a few kidney stones. It's like pissing out a hedgehog in reverse. Yeah, those aren't fun. Those are not fun. Even if I didn't have it, I know it's not fun. Walter Makarovich says, the best was Kamala telling Trump all of us military calling him a disgrace, and he just stood there helpless. Yeah, what could he say? What could he say? Jolie says, I prefer my Chinese food without misogyny, by the way, Chad. Thanks, though. I'm just scrolling on down here. Robert Perez says, I think worrying so much about the prospect of Trump returning to the presidency has given me this stubborn stone. I don't know if it works that way, but yeah, I understand the sentiment. Denise Wilkins says, sorry, Stephen was being interviewed and the journalist kept asking him one question repeatedly and Stephen was so triggered. Thinking about it cracks me up. Yeah, I missed that interview, but that sounds like it'd be a good watch to see little Stevie Miller there get so upset he has to flee the interview. Now, of course, Chadwick, he claims to be an independent. It says, so as an independent, I feel like Harris won the debate. However, I think it is a wash for moving vote count significantly. For vote total, the winner of the night was Taylor Swift. Well, speaking of Taylor Swift, that's a huge, huge deal. She has millions and millions and millions of devotees, so to speak. And I think that that could be significant. As far as it being a wash moving counts significantly, that could be true. That could be true. I don't know. I guess it's just something that you kind of add to the whole thing. You add it to all of her campaigning and the excitement about the campaign. And this is just another thing. It just continues the snowballing effect of the Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, team and the campaign, and it's kind of steamrolling through. Sehal says, I'm feeling accomplished today. Got my truck fixed after 12 hours of turning wrenches. Wow. Well, I'm glad you got it fixed. Hey, Sehal, member for 4 months. Rucker John. Well, thank you, Sehal, for being a member. I do appreciate it. We do have memberships, folks, if you want to become a member, and starting as low as I know Boston Brian always says like the price of a Snicker bar. I think my prices are even lower than that. But I haven't really priced a Snickers bar lately. I think it's even cheaper than that for mine. If you want to be a member. And speaking of memberships, I'm still thinking about doing a members only Mondays. So keep that in mind. Members only Mondays, where it's only members. We hang out and we don't have to worry about, I don't know, non-members, I guess. Just a little something for us to do, a little something for members to hang out, James Williams says, I really enjoyed maybe watching President Biden spoofing MAGA. Wait for the stories saying he supports Trump. Steve Miller is just losing it when he was called out by a Venezuelan reporter. Was pretty good too. Yeah, I didn't see that. Now I gotta find that. I gotta see that. Search for You is here. Good to see Search for You. Search for You is just listening today. That's okay. Thanks for listening. And liking, subscribing, and sharing. Thank you so much. Brandon Woods here. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Brandon Woods. And Philly 3000, she has 280 million followers. That's the most of America, and that's most of America. Laughing out loud. The Swifties are going to put her in office. I know, it's huge. Andrew Petrie, I go trout fishing on Cameron Lake where they filmed the Ewok forest scenes on Vancouver Island. Beautiful place. Wow. That's right. I knew something was filmed up there. Pamela says, Keith Polite, good thing the interviewer stayed back because Miller was spitting mad. Say, Trucker John, quit talking about your member. Well, actually, there was plural. So hey, look at that. Jolie gifted 5 Trucker John memberships. Thank you so much, Jolie. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That helps to get the show to grow a little bit there. And we get the memberships went to, as I stumble, the memberships went to Brandon Woods, Roxanne Arfield. Wait, no, Roxanne already it was. Carrie C, Alvin Stube. Hey, Alvin Stube. I haven't seen Alvin in a while. CN. Where's CN? Naomi. Hey, Naomi. More members for Mom. Yes, members only Monday. Chad Bostic says Biden put a MAGA hat on yesterday, fucking with a fellow old timer at an event, and said, "Don't eat cats and dogs." It was hilarious. See, I've been out of the loop. I guess I didn't see any of this stuff. What was I doing yesterday? I was basically just watching like Hal and stuff. I don't know. I didn't really watch other stuff, I guess. Stephen Sayers, members only Monday. All right, Steve. I think Steve Sayers is on board. I'll have to get my. I'll have to go buy those multicolored Sharpies I was talking about, and I'll make a sign and I'll put it right up here. Monday's only members only Monday. Mom. All right, just oh, Mad Max, Slava Ukrainian. Yeah, thank you, Mad Mac, for being here. Good to see you. All right. I think I'm pretty much caught up. Denise Wilkins says, Keith Polite, oh, did you? Oh, wait, I skipped something, but I guess you were talking about Stephen Miller or whatever. All right, guys. As you can hear, I'm still coughing. I still got the little congestion. All that shit. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why this shit just lingers. Because I feel good. I feel pretty good. But then, I'm sitting here and then it's like, oops. It seems like it gets worse or something. I don't know. I know, like, for some reason, if Nick Rich were watching, he doesn't like it when I use toilet paper to wipe my nose. It's just tissue. It's like tissue. Anyhow, Carolina says, howdy, all TJ, Jolie, Roxanne, Teresa. That Venezuelan journalist made Shitler Miller lose his noggin, kind of like when Noah said, trust me, bro. Trust me, bro? I don't remember that. I don't remember any of that. I don't even know who Noah is. Walter McCarvey, shout out to moderator David Muir for fact checking. I was kind of impressed with that because I wasn't expecting that, and it seems like some people still criticize the moderators, like people on our side, for not fact checking it enough and for letting Trump off the hook or whatever. I think they did a pretty good job, actually, especially I guess when you compare it to Jake Tapper and Dana Bush. Is her name Bush? Whatever fucking name her stupid fucking name is. I still think she should be Dana, but anyhow, that's another issue. But coming off of that performance, I mean, I think they did really good. I was pleasantly surprised at how they did push back on Trump a little bit and called him out and stuff. So I think that was great. I think they did a pretty good job. Seahouse says something about Mad Mac. Oh, they fixed his truck. On the way for my third car, on the way things are moving along. Let's see. James Williams says, Kamala won the debate. She needs to win the election and take both houses. Don't let up. Exactly. We need to make sure we give Kamala Harris the the Congress that she needs, so we can get things moving, get things done, and hopefully, we'll have. You know what? I mean, I guess I don't mean to be a negative Nelly or whatever, but it seems like even if we get the House and we have the Senate, there's always a fucking Joe Manchin. There's always a Kirsten Sinema. I remember back in the day there was a Max Baucus who was a pain in the ass. When we were trying to get, I think the Affordable Care Act through. I remember Max Baucus was a Democrat. I think he was from Wyoming or Montana or some fucking place like that. Not to say that those are bad places. They're, certainly beautiful places. But I remember that. I remember Max Baucus. That's where I started bandying about the term, blue dog Democrat. That's what I was calling Max Baucus. He's a fucking blue dog. But there seems like there's always somebody like that. So hopefully we can weed those motherfuckers out. I think Kirsten Sinema's out, right? She's gonna. I think it's probably gonna be what's the guy from Arizona? I can't remember his name now. Gallego. I guess it's Gallegos. Hopefully he'll win. Because I think that's Sinema's seat that's up, right? And I haven't even heard. Is she even running for re-election as an independent? Because I haven't even heard anything about her. I've heard the race between Gallegos and Carrie Lake, Republican versus Democrat, is going on. They never even talk about Sinema, and this is for Sinema's seat, right? If I have it correctly, because the other seat is Mark Kelly, and he's not up yet. So, yeah, hopefully Gallegos will win that one, and we can get rid of Sinema. I guess Manchin is out, but his seat will probably be taken by a Republican. So anyhow, the point is that even if we do get the Senate and the House and that stuff, we gotta weed out these blue dogs, man. No more fucking blue dogs. No more fucking really kind of traitors to the party, and that's what I see Sinema as, and Joe Manchin too. Andrew Petrie, they let the dump. Okay, so I know people were complaining about that. That he got an extra 10 minutes or whatever, but look, that was extra 10 minutes for him to hang himself. All that extra time, it was just like, let him go. You can almost see that in Kamala's face sometimes. It's just like, go ahead, just give yourself the more rope to hang yourself with, pal. That's the way I look at it, so, Chad Boswick, I would take Joe Manchin over Trump or Kamala, just my personal take. Why the fuck would you take Joe Manchin over Kamala Harris? That makes no fucking sense. Well, I mean, coming from you, I guess it makes sense because you're Chad. You're Chad. What do you like about, well, I don't know if we want to go in, if we want to spend time talking about Joe Manchin. I mean, you do know Joe Manchin. By the way, I mean I'm pretty sure Joe Manchin is pro-choice, so that's good, right? So I guess that means you're pro-choice, Chad. So. The thing about Manchin is he's totally he's very self-serving. I mean, he's part owner or sits on boards of like coal companies and fossil fuel industry type stuff. That's where he makes his monies with fossil fuels. So the bad thing about Manchin would be that it would really kind of stymie, I think, any any move to get us off of fossil fuels which is the direction we need to go. We need to wean ourselves off of fossil fuels as soon as possible. And Joe Manchin would be a real detriment to that. But other than that, I think he's pro-choice. I don't know. I think he's probably on a lot of the basic core positions of the Democratic Party. He's probably still there, even though and we don't like him because he's been a real thorn in our asses about certain things we've been wanting to get passed. And most of those have to do with, I think, with whether it would harm his interest in fossil fuels. Robert Perez says, when you meet people on the street, always ask people if they're registered to vote. It's a good conversation starter. That's a good one. I like that idea, Robert. Sayha says, everybody tell your Republican friends to buy DJT stock. It's at an all-time low. It will be worth trillions soon. Roxanne Ellerfield says, I see Tommy Tuberville is at it again, being an asshole about military promotions. Yeah, and what an asshole. Tommy Tuberville. God dang, what? See, those are the type of people that you really just shake your head, like I'm doing now, and you're just like, what the fuck, dude? You're right, he is an asshole. Hey, Nutted is here. Nutted grabbed him by the nussy. She stoned him, ha ha ha. Well, first of all, Nutted, thanks for being here, by the way. Mad Max says, how about Hitler, Chad? Would you prefer him overall? Or how about Genghis Khan? He was a great military mind, although a complete rapist, too. Yeah, Chad, do you like those guys? Chad Bostic, he is genuine and goes across party lines and sticks up for his constituents. Well, he has to, because he's in a red state, basically. So, yeah. If he wants to stay in, well, now he's retiring or he's termed, or I guess he's not termed out, but I think he's retiring or whatever. But he's in a red state, so he's had to do a lot of that kind of shit, But I just don't think he had to. I understand the him being a Democrat in a red state, and so you can't be a Bernie Sanders where he's at, right? You can't be an AOC and expect to stay in office or even get elected in the first place. But there's a couple things where I think he could have fell on the sword and said, you know what, I'm gonna have to just see what happens, and not be such an asshole, Hate this shit. I hate having a cold, man. Especially when you're on camera. I know nobody wants to see or hear this shit, so I apologize. I need to have a thing where I can, go away. I guess I could reverse the camera and you could look at my wall. The wall over here. Maybe that's next time I have to do that. I think I will turn the camera around, because that's not something pleasant to look at if you're watching. If you're just listening, listening probably isn't much better either. Mad Mac, he sticks up for who pays him the most. Well, there's that. But look, in order to get a seat, a Democratic seat in West Virginia or wherever the fuck I can't remember the state for sure. Like I said, you're not going to be an AOC or a Bernie Sanders, okay? But having said that, I still think he's an asshole, and I think that he could have found a way to not be such an obstructionist or be part of that obstruction, especially if he's not running again. Steve Sayers says if brains were dynamite, Manchin couldn't blow his nose. I don't think he's dumb, though. I don't think he's stupid. We can disagree with him on his policies and his obstructionism, but I don't think he's dumb. Chad Bosick, joking around about DJT is good and all, but I made almost $20K this year trading it. Yeah, I guess if you buy during the dips and then if it goes up a little bit or something, I don't know. Or if you got in really early, maybe you're still ahead. Hey, Rob4419 says, hi, TJ and everyone. Good Thursday. F yet. A good VP winning debate. Okay. Well, thank you, I think. James Williams says, if brains were dynamite, Tommy couldn't blow his nose. What does that say about people that elected him? Manchin was a Democrat in name only. I would disagree. I think he did go. I think he still voted with Democrats, probably the majority of the time. It's those one or two big cases, big issues that came up that he was a thorn in our ass, and he was playing part of the obstructionism and that's a big thing. It was a big thing. Don't get me wrong. And at the time, I remember thinking, well, I know he has to play to the Republicans because he's in a red state. But like I said, there's probably more to it than that. I mean, maybe it is. Well, and even I said it was more than that because I know that he has fossil fuel industry ties, and he makes millions of dollars. I think he has a coal company, or he's some sort of CEO, right, of a coal company or something like that. Denise, how are you still sick? You need checkup. Whatever. I don't know what that means. I'm just scrolling down, guys, because I know I'm down. I know I'm really behind here. Time, as far as the time, like the stuff I'm reading is probably 10 minutes old by now, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip on down. Steve Sayre says Manchin is dumb because he doesn't support our democratic visions. Well, I guess there's a difference between dumb and stupid then, because I don't think he's unintelligent. But yeah, I think he's an asshole. Don't get me wrong. I don't like the guy, but I don't think he's stupid. Let's see. I guess Izolda's in. Is here? Did I skip Izolda? Bonnie Agliata's here. Hey, Bonnie, good to see you. Thanks for being here. By the way, oh yeah, there's Izolda. Didn't mean to skip over you. Good morning to Izolda. Thanks for joining us here in the Driver's Lounge. Keith Police says Taylor Swift just motivated 300,000 of her followers to register to vote, and that was in the first 24 hours. Register to vote. People, make sure you are registered. Go check your registration at vote.org. Check it all the time. Make sure nothing has been changed, or you've been dropped or whatever. Chad Bosick says 11:50s, and I'm at 9:50, so I'm right on. I'm right even with you guys now. On hour wise, let's see. Andrew Petrie says, I've said it before, Trump is shooting himself in the foot on purpose. Okay, so why is he shooting himself in the... in the foot on purpose. He wants to lose? I don't get that. Why would he be shooting himself in the foot on purpose? When I think the main reason he's running is to try to stay out of prison if he wins. He thinks if he wins, he can stay out of prison. Bonnie Aguilera says we are good in New York. Steve Sayers mailed my application for absentee ballot. Yeah, vote by mail, absentee ballots. If your state doesn't have an actual official vote by mail, you can go the absentee ballot way. That's the way I was doing it in California before. I was just absentee because I was a truck driver, so I was able to get an absentee ballot. So I did that, and that was really convenient because I was on the road so much. And now here in Nevada, we've got mail-in voting here, which I think is really neat. I think the more options that we have, the better. The more people we can get in to vote with early voting, mail-in voting, drop boxes. All that stuff helps, and of course, that's why the Republican Party is against all that shit. They know that anything that increases turnout is bad for them, because when the higher the turnout, the more that we win, the more offices, more elections that we win. So usually, if they're against something, it's usually that's like a good thing. Like, I mean, it means that means that it's a good thing. Steve Sayers, does DJ T look tired to anyone else? I look tired to myself. I'm a little tired. To tell the truth, I'm a little tired this morning. Rob4419 says, Taylor, in my opinion, waited after the debate to announce her support. More of an impact strategy. MJ Daniel, Richard P. Feynman. Never confuse education with intelligence. You can have a PhD and still be an idiot. Yeah. And Jolie's got the link to vote.org. You can check your registration. It only takes a few seconds, says Jolie. That's really quick. You just click, 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 and there you are. Anthony Reminiak is here. Hi, everybody. Hello, Anthony. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us here in the Driver's Lounge today. Chad says, I guess if he's allegedly bombing on purpose, talking about Trump, the only thought process that would make sense is that in that instance, it would be to make Dems complacent, like in 2016, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to follow along with that logic too. Carolina says, I've been digging out birth certificate, marriage certs, everything I got to first get Ohio driver's license, still have Colorado. Then I can register, but also got to bring 2 pieces mail to prove address. Yeah, some of these places are going to make you jump through a lot of hoops. A lot of hoops. Pamela says that MJ Daniel, my dad called them educated idiots. MJ Daniel, live in Washington and is great, even free return postage. Rob4419 says, or you're just an idiot. Maybe. But that's always a possibility. I could be an idiot. Sayhouse says, Taylor Swift's post about Kamala got 1 million views in 15 minutes. Trump loves is it grabbing the tiger? by the tail. He's not only a rapist, narcissist, racist, he's an idiot. And he can't help himself, I guess. You know what I mean? He just can't help himself. Colorado is so easy to vote. It's all by mail, or you can put in drop boxes. Yeah. Quesadilla 79 is here is waving at us. So hello, Quesadilla 79. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us. We're just shooting the shit. We're just hanging out, talking about a lot about the debate. What do you think about the debate? Did Kamala Harris win? Did Donald Trump win? Was it a draw? How will it affect the election? We've been talking about all those type of issues. James Williams says, I think Trump does not believe he will actually be sent to prison in any case. I really hope that Juan Merchan on, I think it's November 22nd or something around there. I really hope that Merchan sentence him to prison and they remand him to custody, like right there on the spot. Cuff him, send him off to the clink, right there. No delayed thing, just boom. Just say, yeah, you're a flight risk, so you're being remanded to custody right now. I think that'd be great. Anthony Reminiak says, I heard a distressing story about mail-in voting cannot be guaranteed by the post office, reported by BBC News. Well, I don't know about that, but I do know that the Postal Service has been taking and processing, absentee ballots for decades and decades and decades. I worked at the post office for 12 years, and we would get, carts and carts and carts full of trays of ballots. And there was nothing ever, it all went through, so. Anthony Reminiak says the Postmaster General needs to be replaced. And it's kind of funny, Louis DeJoy, we haven't really heard much about Louis DeJoy in this cycle, it seems like. Every now and then it pops up, people to talk about it, but I'm not hearing about, OCRs and BCSs, all the scanning machines that process the mail these days, about finding those being destroyed or even having mailboxes taken out. We're not hearing those stories anymore. So hopefully, it's because it's not being done, Bonnie Agliata, he will disappear in November to prison, or will he run? I know that's the big question. We've been talking about that for a while now. Is like, is Trump going to? At what point is Trump going to try to flee the country? And is it going to be before the election? Is it going to be after the election? Is he just waiting to see if maybe he'll get another lucky win like he did in 2016? What's his bug out plan? But I think he's being watched very closely by, I would think, by the FBI and everybody, law enforcement, so that hopefully, if he tries to flee, hopefully he'll be caught. Because I think everyone is aware of that, besides just us here. I know we're a pretty smart group here in the chat, in the driver's lounge, but I think we're not the only ones that are thinking about that. Philly 3000, as soon as he loses the presidency, he goes straight to prison, laughing out loud, because his sentencing is after the race. Right, I know, that's right. That's what I was saying. Carol Alana says Kamala's beat down and punching bully in nose during the debate figuratively. Been waiting decades for Dumpy to get comeuppance. Yeah, I loved it when she said you were fired by 81 million voters or whatever. That was a great line. And he was just seething. He was just at some point you could see that shot where he's just like clinching the podium that he was standing in front of. He was just like white knuckling that thing, and because he was so pissed, and I was good. I'm glad. That meant she was really getting at him. He really wanted to he wanted to shout out probably the N word and the B word and the C word, and he would have loved to have probably gone around and stalked around her, but he couldn't do any of that shit, and he just like clinched the podium, and you could just see he was just so pissed off. So that was kind of delicious, to see how she was affecting him. Philly 3000 says if just half the Swiftie voters or followers vote for Harris, she will automatically win. As old as Zen, if he wins, can he be president from prison? I think so. There's nothing in the Constitution that says that a prisoner cannot be president. Andrew Petrie says, fact checked. How do they know 300,000 Swifties registered to vote? I'm not doubting it, but how? Maybe they're going by just since she made that statement and the endorsement that there were all of a sudden 300,000 more. But yeah, I don't know. That's a good question though, because I don't know either. I'm just talking out my ass, I guess, apparently. Chad Bosick says, Andrew, it was tracked. Oh, okay. So here, Chad has the answer. Apparently, Chad says, Andrew, it was tracked from her Instagram post that had a link to click. Oh, okay. So going from that link, I guess they were able to determine that. Anthony Reminiak says, all the mail delivery trucks were supposed to be electric, but that was mixed. I think mixed is the right word. By LaJoy. Yeah, they were supposed to go. They were supposed to start replacing their old trucks with new electrics, the fleets. Jolie says at Carolina, it was so great to finally hear someone say all these things we've been wanting said to Trump for years, and by our next president. Yeah, it was. It was like, delicious, I guess we could say. It was delicious. We've got, is it Double O, Govan Double O is here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us here in the driver's chat. Good to see you. Roxanne Armfield, media's short attention span regard to Joy and post office failures. Sayhouse says, don't listen to the lies. As long as your vote is mail stamped before the deadline, your vote counts, just like taxes, you drop it in the mail. But tax due date when IRS gets it 2 weeks later doesn't matter. Double O Govan Double O says, love how she used disgrace repeatedly. He's synonymous with that word. Yeah, she was putting in some good digs, and it was you could see his face. Sometimes it looked like he was going to cry. I mean, I don't think he really was, but sometimes that face, it looked like a cry face, and he was just like, I thought he was going to cry. Philly 3000 says if the football team does the same playbook, they will automatically lose, and that's what Trump did. Harris knew his playbook. Right. Yeah, Trump is he's just this broken record. He just does the same old tired shtick over and over again. And that was another good dig she got in about, your crowds are bored and they're leaving because they're just exhausted from your just tedious boredom bullshit. Well, she didn't say bullshit, but it was a good dig because he was like, "No, my crowds are great. My crowds love me." And she's like, "Nah, they're getting sick of you too because you're boring." Trump didn't like that at all. Rob4419 says, Mary Trump on O'Donnell said VP saying his rallies were bad will break him. Yes, I think so. I think so. MJ Daniel, Kamala almost dropped the MFer bomb. Yeah. That's when I was watching Liberal Dan, and Liberal Dan said, "So what do you think she said, or she wanted to say?" And I think I wrote fucking dumbass, but yeah, that was a good moment, and I think that was intentional too. She wasn't really going to slip. I think she was like, kind of playing that up. She was really good. She was really good. Carolina says, absolutely, Jolie. It takes us women to have guts. Hillary tried, but good old boys club, Comey, emails, Benghazi drowned her out, and Russia disinformation. Yep. And I think we've all learned a lesson from that. Even, us as voters, and I think, even Kamala Harris and her campaign have all learned from Hillary and everything. So it's good that they've learned. They've learned a lot of things. They're not making the same mistakes that Hillary made as far as not using the internet enough. And I think taking for granted, the big blue wall. They're not taking anything. I don't think the Harris campaign is taking anything for granted. And I think the Hillary Clinton campaign kind of did, right? I think they kind of took some things for granted. Not and not to really blame them at the time. Hindsight is 2020, and I think after the fact, it was looked at the campaign, the flaws of the Hillary campaign, and I think that was good. They learned from those flaws, and I think Kamala Harris and her campaign have really utilized that info about what happened, and how to avoid it. Tim Farrell's here, one of our resident Tims. Good to see you, Tim. Tim coming in strong with this one. Says, help control the pet population. Have your pet filleted or skewered. Ba-da-boom. Little drum sting there at the end. Carolina says, I've had several pieces of mail lost, so I'll vote in person early. Yeah, that's that's why it's good to have so many choices. If you don't feel comfortable with one way, you can do it another way. And the great thing about a lot of these systems now, like in Nevada and I think in California, you can just check and like, was my vote received? Was my vote counted? And they're able to tell you that. I don't know about in red states if they have that type of a system. Probably not. But if you're in a blue state or even a purple state or whatever, you can check your vote and where it's at, in the process. Philly 3000 says, did you notice when Trump shook her hand at the 9/11? He tried to do the same thing as he did to the French president, pull his hand in, but Harris didn't go for it. I didn't see that. I guess I wasn't watching much TV yesterday. I don't know. I didn't see any of that. There's a lot of stuff I missed yesterday, apparently. Rob 4419, or he wanted to start yelling at the bile in his gut. Nuned says, I dropped it for her when I watched it. Penny to Create says, Kamala began to destroy Donald when she invaded his space and shook his hand. Yeah, right from the get-go. Right from the get-go. And I like how she said, you know, I'm Kamala Harris. It's like she's like telling him, this is how you fucking say my name, motherfucker. It's Kamala. Because at first I was like, he knows who you are. And I was like, oh, well, wait a minute. Yeah. So now he has no excuse. Because she was right there and goes, hi, I'm Kamala. I thought that was just another nice little dig. Right from the start. Right, like you said. Right from the get-go. And he was already like on his heels right from there. You know? Tim Farrell says, Trump is desperate for a Fox debate. Harris should accept in exchange for a Maddow O'Donnell MSNBC debate. Yeah, he wants Sean Hannity to fucking moderate. I think Kamala Harris is, I think she could handle anything. I think she could handle fucking Sean Hannity or whatever. But the thing is, like, how are they going to do it? Are they going to load, like, I'm sure she would want no audience. But are they going to insist an audience and they can pack it full of maggots and stuff like that? But, you know, I don't know. Like I said, she could handle anything, though. Oliver Brownlow says we always go to early voting. Mad Mac, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Quoting Wayne Gretzky. Carolina in 2016, Michael Moore kept warning us, Hillary, about Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota. He was right. Yes, he was right. He was right. And he was also right about Joe Biden needing to step down. And I was really mad at Michael Moore for that. So much so that I think I was subscribing to his channel here on YouTube and I unsubscribed. That's how mad I was. I think I should probably go back and subscribe. Because I think it was the right decision. Obviously, it was the right decision. But at the time, I did not want to hear it, and I did not like it. I did not want to upset the apple cart, so to speak. I did not, at this stage of the game, I felt it was too late to make a change, and we couldn't do anything that would jeopardize, you know, Biden's campaign, and we could not take the chance that would, you know, open it up for Trump, because I still think that Biden would have won. But I think it was the right decision because we've seen the excitement. We've seen just igniting all these different groups to come back in, like the younger voters and all that kind of stuff. It's just ignited like you've never, like the likes of which have never been seen before, or however that goes. And so, and it's going to help down ballot. And that was what Pelosi was saying. Like, they didn't see, you know, a Biden candidacy really helping down ballot, and it's very important. Very important, right? To get the House back and try to keep the Senate. And I think Pelosi was right. So I think it turned out to be a good decision because, as we've seen, it's just, the support for Kamala Harris has been just really unprecedented, and I think she is going to help down ballot voting bigly. Chad Bosick says, as a T4 paraplegic, I still will my ass to vote in person. I feel like mail votes should be reserved for extreme cases of people not being able to get out or military overseas. Why? What does it fucking matter? What does it fucking matter to you how I vote? As long as I vote, and it's a legal vote, it's my vote, it's my ballot. If I want to mail it in, I should be able to mail it in. If I want to drop it off at a drop box, I should be able to do that. And if they open it up to early voting where they got drop boxes out 2 or 3 weeks early or a month early, what the fuck does it matter to you? You can get in your wheelchair and wheel yourself down to the polling place all you want. That's your choice. See, it's choice, about choice again. Wow. Of course you're anti-choice. Of course you're anti-choice. But it's none of your goddamn business how I vote. As long as I do it legally, and legally it's my ballot, I fill it out, I sign it or whatever, and I drop it off. It's no skin off your nose whether I mailed it in, I dropped it off in a drop box. It doesn't affect you not one single fucking bit. See, there you are again. You want to get into my fucking shit. Because you're anti-choice. So fuck off, Chad Bostic. Nutted grab him by the nussy says that was gross, him being there after having a golf tournament with his Saudis and 9/11 victim families protested outside a resort, and he ignored them and insulted them. Yeah, I didn't watch any of that shit. I wasn't watching any stuff yesterday, apparently. I think I was just watching like Randy Rhodes, and I don't think she covered it. Maybe I missed it. I don't know. It was Randy Rhodes and Nicole and then Hal. I wasn't watching any news shows. I probably should have because it was 9/11 and I probably should have been watching for special things, but I didn't. Carol says that's inspiring. Okay, so yeah, it's inspiring that, yeah, you're a paraplegic and you're in a wheelchair and you're voting. That part's inspiring. The part that says that I shouldn't be allowed to mail my vote in or use a drop box, that's not inspiring. That is the opposite of inspiring. That's piss-off inducing. Philly 3000, I was on this channel yesterday called the Black, or not this channel, I guess this channel, I don't know, called the Black Network. All of them is disgusted with Trump. Well, good, they should be. Everyone should be disgusted. Everyone should be disgusted with Trump. The fact that there's so many people that aren't disgusted with Trump, that's the head scratcher. I don't know how anyone could not be disgusted with Trump. Trump is just a vile, disgusting human being. And I use the term human being lightly. Not sure if he's even human at this point. Roxanne Armfield says, how Hannity and Waters still have jobs is beyond me. Especially Waters, because he's a fucking no-talent piece of shit. I mean, Hannity, again, no-talent piece of shit, but, it's Fox, and all they care about is that he gets a big audience and that he, toes the company line, Carol Alana says, I don't believe that black voters for Kamala are fewer than Biden in 2020. How is that real? Black voters for Kamala are fewer. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me either. I don't know. Oliver Brownlow says, my cousin, who was a former local police commissioner, predicted Trump's 2016 victory. I thought he was crazy, but I gained new respect for him afterward. Well, sometimes people just get shit. You know, they say enough shit, and some of it sticks, right? Rob 4419. Jesse's mom must be so proud of him. Laughing out loud. I know, because he talks about his mom, and I'm like, why don't you listen to your mom? Because his mom sounds like she's reasonable. Philly 3000 says, having a stepdad as a movie star, you never know who's going to knock on the door. Chad Boxer says, sure, but chain of custody is a lot harder to verify in mail versus in person. It's not that hard, Chad. It's all scanned. It's all scanned in, and they fucking tell you. They write. I get notices that says, yeah, we received your fucking ballot. Yeah, we counted we counted your ballot. It's all scanned in. It's not so spooky and scary. Come off of it. And like I said, if you want to do yours in person, that's fine. But don't try to deny me my fucking choice. Andrew Petrie says, Trump isn't even worthy of my crab trap. Don't get me wrong. I'll deep six that fuck in a second. Okay. Legally and peacefully or whatever. I had to throw that in there, I think, at some point. Walter Makarovich, Trucker John, I watched something about COVID-19 and election. They pointed out that of all registered voters in the USA, for every one Democrat that passed away in 2020, 4 Republicans died. Yeah, and so I've heard that conversation before, that like that Trump was killing off his own supporters. Steve Sayre says Jesse's mom isn't getting paid. Yeah, so I guess is the implication there that if she were getting paid, she would be, not so liberal or whatever? Carolina says some pundits say she's still behind Biden. Wait, some pundits say she's still behind Biden black support of 2020. Got to wonder if corp media trying to make this a cliffhanger. Well, yeah, we do know that. I mean, we always talk about the horse race, that the mainstream media wants a horse race because that's better for their ratings, and then bigger ratings means they can ask for more money for ads, for ad time, and all that. But you know what? You know who else I think likes a horse race? I think the parties like a horse race. I think the campaigns like a horse race, a tight horse race, because that helps with funding, with getting contributions, right? If it was really because I keep saying, and others have said, I don't understand how it's so close. It really shouldn't be so close. It's like if you look at the polling and everything, it's neck and neck right now. They're virtually tied, and you're thinking, I know I scratch my head. I'm going, how could it be fucking tied when Donald Trump is a fucking pedophile, rapist, 34-time convicted felon. He's a traitor, all these things. How could it be so close? And Kamala Harris, I think, is, even if you don't like her, I mean, she hasn't done anything wrong. She hasn't committed any felonies, and she doesn't do anything like that. So I'm thinking it should be like 80-20. Kamala Harris should be ahead in this, like 80-20. That's really what it should be. But if let's just say the polls are coming out and it was like 80-20, Harris is leading by 60 points or whatever in the polls, or in the polls. Then I think then you have complacency sets in, and people aren't contributing, and maybe people won't show up to vote. And we do know that lower turnouts hurt us, and higher turnouts help us. So maybe having a neck and neck tight race is a good thing, even for us. So I scratch my head. I'm like, how can it be so close? This is ridiculous. But that helps spur on the enthusiasm and the campaign contributions, and it gets people interested. Make sure people. That's what helped people get registered. That's why you got 300,000 registered the other day, right, from Taylor Swift. I mean, it gets that excitement. It keeps people involved. If it was, and this is hypothetical, I know, but if it was an 80-20, in favor by Harris, then how many people would just go, oh, this thing's over, and they just don't pay attention anymore. They might not even vote because it's like, oh, it's in the bag. They don't, so it's not only the mainstream media that needs this horse race. I think the campaigns do too. So that's all I got to say about that. Steve Sayers, got to keep people fired up by reporting the race is close. Right. Rob 4419. What's ironic is Hannity and the rest talk values and never live them. Oh, yeah. We always talk about the hypocrisy, the double standards. Yeah, all the time. Philly 3000 says, as much as Fox 5 lies, I wouldn't put it past Jesse to lie. Yeah, there's no shortage of lying going on there. That's for sure. Let's see here. Enthusiasm. Oliver Brownlow says enthusiasm. Steve Sayre says, I vote absentee, no wheels, and the line can be long. Yeah, I mean, I think whether it's absentee or whether you just have a regular just mail-in system, I have no problems with that. None whatsoever. And if you want to go down, wheel yourself down to the polling office. One way, what if your wheels is a wheelchair or your wheels is your car or whatever, or it's a bicycle, and you want to go on down to the polling office and vote in person, that's fine. That's dandy. It's fine and dandy. I have no problem with that. But I just think having more options available, it opens it up and gets more people the ability to vote. And if it's by mail, by Dropbox, I think those are all great ways. Carolina says, yes, if people think election baked in, sure thing. People will get complacent, lazy, and not vote. Then we don't win. Dumpster wins. No way that can happen. Yeah, so this whole thing about it being a horse race and being close, I think is a good thing, even though it does always lead me to believe, how could it be so close? But as we saw really in 2020, I think it was probably a horse race, right? Going down to the election time. And then Biden ended up winning by almost 8 million votes in the popular vote and won handily in the Electoral College. Josh says they have herd immunity to hypocrisy. That's funny. Hey, Julie says Trucker John has channel memberships. Yes, I do, and super chats. And you can support the show by liking, subscribing, and sharing, or buying John a coffee at buymeacoffee.com. Thank you, Jolie, for that reminder. And also a reminder, I think I'm going to be starting up maybe on Monday, members only Mondays. At some time. I haven't decided the exact time yet. It might be sometime after House Sparks or sometime before House Sparks. Sometime in the middle. I don't know. But look for members only Mondays starting next Monday. Philly 3000 says, actually, I don't vote. Wait, actually, I didn't vote last time. It was too cold to go out, laughing out loud. See there? If you had mail-in voting, you could have, I guess, went through the cold just to the mailbox and then back. Steve Sayre says, I can still hand deliver my ballot. No waiting. You can hand it to an election official. Yep. As well as in, good says Rob 40. Is that the right number? Anyhow, good to see you. I'm sorry I missed your greet. Mad Max says it's thoroughbred racing and orange. Wait, it's thoroughbred racing and orange jackass in this election. Laugh, laugh, laugh. As well as in MOM, Mom. That's right. That's the acronym. Members only Mondays. Jolie says, 2020 election, my daughters and I stood outside in line in freezing rain for nearly 2 hours to vote. It was pretty miserable. Chad's wheelchair would have been frozen in place. Yikes. And you still voted anyhow, Jolie, and your daughters. Congratulations, and thank you for doing that. Chad Bostic says 2020 was very cold and long lines here too, Jolie. I threw on my wheel warmers. Who knew they even had wheel warmers? So, hey, Steve Sayer has been a member for 5 months. Thank you, Steven Sayers. I appreciate your being a member. Steve says 5 months went fast. I appreciate the chat room, TJ. And I appreciate you being here and contributing. Thank you so much, Steve. That's really awesome, being a longtime member. And I'm going to do a special Members Only Monday show for folks like you. Roxanne Armfield said, I go early to the courthouse to vote at county clerk's office. Stephanie B2. Hey, Stephanie's here. Hello in the waiting room for pain management. Hello, Stephanie. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you get that pain management soon, and hope things are looking better for you, and you get well soon. Mad Max says, if you are in Australia when the Member Mondays are called, wow. Yeah, because it's upside down, kind of like in Australia. It's like on the bottom half of the world. And not only that, it'll probably be Tuesday by the time they're watching it, but that doesn't mean anything. I was trying to think of an acronym for that, like Tuesday, Members Only Tuesdays would be MOT. In Australia, it would be MOT probably, even though here it's Monday. I think there it might be Tuesday there because it's a real long difference in time and space and continuums. I'm doing a weave. I think I'm doing a weave. I'm going to probably work my way back to that at some point during the show because I'm a master of the weave. Anyhow, Jeff Curry says lunchtime made a pot of Labrador Siamese chili. Jeff. Rob 4419 says, I believe 2024 will be a bigger turnout than Obama. I believe so too. I think so too. Stephanie B2 says, sure way to get into the chat. All right, they called you, so hope all goes well with that. Roxanne says, good morning, 70B2. Hope everything goes well. Me too. Chad Boswell says, Stephanie, as a fellow chronic pain manager, I found daily cannabis to be the best for me. Mine is mostly nerve pain, though. Mad Mac, I'm here all week, folks. Boom. 72 says, the doctor is literally saving my life. Thank God for good doctors, right? 72, I grow my own weed. There you go. Philly 2000 says, I predict Harris is going to win by 1 million votes. At least 1 million votes. Oliver Brownlow says, Chad Bostic, I understand your point, but like Trucker John, I think it should be easier for you and everyone else to vote. I'm not sure if I understood Chad's point, but to tell the truth. Okay, look, he's in a wheelchair, and God bless him. He still gets his ass down to the polling place to vote, and good for you, Chad. I don't understand the point, like, No, because he votes in person, then all of us should vote in person. I mean, and if you don't, like I say, and you don't trust the U.S. mail, and you want to do it, that's fine. That's all fine. But I'm just saying, hey, don't deny me my choice, because I'm perfectly fine with mail-in voting. I have no problems with it. I was a postal worker for 12 years. I saw how we handled ballots very, very carefully, and it was done very well. I don't remember having any incidents with ballots being mishandled and lost or destroyed or anything like that. And what I'm saying, the more choices, the more things available to do, it helps to increase turnout. And of course, Republicans, they hate high turnouts, because that means usually that we win. And they don't like it when we win, because they don't really like freedom. They only like freedom if it just pertains right to them. They don't like diversity. They don't like people that they don't like to have freedom. They don't like gay people having freedom. They don't like women having freedom. They don't like people of color having freedom. So they don't like big turnouts, because then they feel like if Democrats win, then that's an attack on their lifestyle. And it's not. It's just like abortion. If you're against abortion, fine. Don't fucking get one. The fact that some other woman chooses to get an abortion is none of your goddamn business. And it has no effect on you whatsoever. But you want to impose your viewpoints onto other people. That's why I don't like Republicans and the Republican Party. Mad Mac, Dr. Evil. Yeah, because it just reminded me of, like, when he was doing all this time thing, right? And in like the 60s or whatever, like $3 million was a lot of money, and then he like went to, I guess it was supposed to be the 80s or 90s, I guess, and he was like, I want $3 million, and they're all like, $3 million. They were just laughing at him. So anyhow, that was that. Stephen Sayers says moving to Montana. Hey, good. Maybe a good Democratic progressive voice moving to Montana. They need him. They need him up there. Like we said, I don't know, was it Steve or who was it that every now and then talks about forming organizations to move Democrats into some of these red states? And like I've said, I've always thought of that. In some of these places like Wyoming and Montana and, maybe the Dakotas, I don't know. I mean, they're very small populated states. I mean, I've grown up in places that have more population than the whole state. And lived in places. Like I've lived in the San Fernando Valley, which at the time had like 3 million people in it. It's probably even more now. And that's more than some states don't even have 3 million people, right? So it might not take much. A few thousand people here, a few thousand people there, and we might be able to turn the state. Anyhow, Roxanne says voting should be made easy as possible for everyone eligible, period. Thank you very much, Roxanne. Very succinct, to the point, spot on. Mad Max says, abso-fucking-lutely on the abortion thing, TJ. Spot on, mate. Thank you very much, Al. Thank you very much. Oliver Brownlow says, although it is true that if Harris and Walz win, all Republicans will be forced to switch genders. Yes, that is true. No, it's not. I have to. I'm gonna, because someone will say, "Was that true?" Oliver and I we're just joking. We're just, for anyone who might be confused. Oliver and myself, we were joking. Okay. Zola Zinn says, I still have anxiety about mail-in ballots because Georgia is red. Yeah, you're helping me see that might be unfounded. You might not want to go by me all the time because you are in Georgia and you do have fucking Brian Kemp, or whatever the fuck his name is. So I don't know. Your fears might be founded if you're in Georgia. So you know, I don't know about that one, Isolda. You're in Georgia. That's a fucked up place when it comes to voting and shit. So I might hand that one in person or whatever, because they're purging votes there left and right with what's his face, Kemp, and Georgia's fucked up. That's all I gotta say. Georgia's a fucked up place for voting, so you might want to just make sure you go in and you just hand it right to, or whatever, you know. Yeah, I probably. I hope I'm not stoking the fears or making the fears worse for you, but yeah. I gotta remember that not every state is like California or Nevada. You know, I sometimes forget that there are fucked up states like Georgia or any red state probably, and you know. So if you have fears about your vote being counted, especially in a red state, I think those are legitimate fears. Chad Bosick says, Josh, I'm in week 2 veg from seed on some old school 1979 Florida heirloom skunk. Wow, you guys, you guys are really into the pot, into the weed, and you really can make it sound like it's a vintage bottle of the best wine ever made or something. Steve Sayre says, going to be a dental floss tycoon. There you go. Oliver Brownlow says, turn it blue, Steve Sayers. Yes, turn Montana blue, Steve. We're counting on you. No pressure. Oxen says, good afternoon, Tony Sloan. Did I skip Tony Sloan? Is Tony here? Where's Tony? Is Tony? Tony, you here? Tony. Where you at, Tony? Tony Sloan. Hey, Tony Sloan, good to see you. I didn't mean to pass you up. I didn't mean to be so rude and not say hello. Hey, Tony. Tony says, mail-in voting rocks. Nothing like voting naked. Well, did you walk naked to the mailbox? Because I'm not sure, you know. But anyhow, Tony, hey, good to see you. Good to see you, Tony. Hey, Tony. Tim Farrell says, postal workers are trustworthy. Joy can try to discredit the postal service, but he can't discredit the workers. Thank you very much, Tim. As a former postal worker, I thank you. Chad Bostic, I would be cool with a verified app from government for voting from home over mail-in. I just have chain of custody hesitancy for mail-in for whatever reason. Well, you can go ahead and you can do what you do, Chad. Just don't deny me my ability to do what I want to do. So is this fair enough? Like I said, I hope I don't know. Georgia. Oh, Georgia. J Ohio 107 is here. Hey, J Ohio, good to see you. Says hello. I live in Ohio. They are trying to get rid of drop boxes. Of course they are. And J Ohio, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't at one point Ohio kind of blue? Maybe back in the 80s or something, or 70s. I mean, they weren't. Ohio wasn't always the red menace it is today, right? Weren't they kind of blue or at least purplish at some point? Correct me if I'm wrong. Refresh my memory. Non-useful says, hey, Trucker John, there was once a man with no plan. He sure. I think this might be like a limerick, but there once was a man with no plan. He assured us he was fake. He assured us with his fake tan. Oh, just you wait. Things will be great, just like the casino I ran. There you go. Ba-da-boom. Thank you, Non-Usable. Thank you very much for that little rhyme scheme. But yeah, that about sums it up. The man couldn't even successfully run a casino, which are cash cows. Little story. I live here. I live in Las Vegas. And let me tell you something. People always trash places like Excalibur and Circus Circus and a number of other places because they're kind of old and kind of run down. There's stories of, I don't know, maybe cockroach infestations and bed bugs, things of this nature. But you want to know what? Every weekend, those places are fucking packed with people. One, because they're like the cheapest rates on the strip. And people are booking those trips from across the country or whatever, or maybe even across the world. And they're like, hey, I'll stay at this place. It's only $49. And, you know, Bellagio's $400 or whatever. My point is Circus Circus is a fucking cash cow. People are always wondering, why does that place even still exist? Why is it still there? Why don't they get rid of it? Well, because it's a fucking cash cow. That's why. People book rooms there. They gamble there. They spend money there. I'm sure Circus Circus is making money hand over fist, even though it's kind of a dump, and it has a bad reputation. At least if you're around here, you hear about it. But those places are full every fucking weekend, and during the week there are a lot of people there too. So, my point is, you can have a kind of a old, rundown, crappy shithole and still make money. And Donald Trump couldn't do that. And I don't know if Taj Mahal or whatever it was called, I don't know what the reputation was for that, if it was shitty, a run-down place or not. I don't think it was. At the time, I think that was probably a good place, a nice place. And he still ran it into the ground. So moral of the story is that Donald Trump is a horrible, horrible businessman. So many of these people like Chad or whatever, they vote for him because they say he's a businessman, and we need a businessman to run the country. We need the country to be ran like a business, which is not true. We need to be governed. We need the country to be governed and managed, but we don't run it like a business. And Donald Trump couldn't do that anyhow. He can't even successfully run a casino, for God's sakes. Where even the shitty, rundown old ones like Circus Circus make money hand over fucking fist. And Donald Trump can't fucking do it. Donald Trump is a fucking joke. Philly 3000 says, I heard today that Trump wants the House to vote for driver's proof ID. He's pissed that's why it happened this morning. Wait, he wants the House to vote for driver's proof ID? I don't know what that means. Like voter ID? Or something? Like you have to show your driver's license to vote? Maybe? I don't know. Mad Max says, isn't that felon Trump appointed head of the post still in that position? I don't know. Oh, I guess Trump is the felon. I don't think DeJoy is a felon. You know, the guy who intentionally pulled lots of outside boxes and machines to slow down. Yeah, he's still there. But like we said earlier, we've already talked about it. I haven't heard of any of those stories about machines being tossed out and mailboxes being taken up and stuff like that. J Ohio 107, how come Republicans never brought up election security until Trump came in the picture. I don't know, because it was they saw because they've seen how big turnouts benefit Democrats more, and so they've come up with this whole idea about all these different things. Penny to Create says Ohio is messed up too. The state gave us JD just dumb Vance. Yeah, it is fucked up. But like I said, is my memory not serving me right? Wasn't Ohio once a blue state? Wasn't Ohio once part of the sort of blue wall or whatever? And I kind of remember like Florida being blue at some time, and I think Arizona was blue at one time, and Arizona is getting more blue now, I guess, because we have two dim senators, and we have a Democratic governor, or they have, not we, but they, Arizona, but still, a lot of these places, it's weird. Texas, I think I remember Texas being blue at some point. And is there a chance to maybe flip some of those states back? Maybe Florida? I think maybe Florida. Penny to Create, Ohio was blue years ago. Yeah, that's what I was saying, like in the 80s, I think, maybe. At some point they switched. And why did they switch all of a sudden? Maybe it has something to do with Reagan, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Buying into that bullshit. Penny to Create, gerrymandering. Yeah, that helped Republicans. Absolutely. And all of that is that there are, part of Kamala Harris's plans is I think is to eliminate gerrymandering, Josh says, I'm having trouble waking up and finding energy today. Well, do what I do and just go back to bed. No, that was not constructive of me. I don't know, Josh. I would tell you to just watch this show, but this might not be the energy creator that you're looking for. Carolina says Ohio had a Democratic governor, Strickland, 2008. Ohio lost its mind because a black man won the White House. Older white bigots here. That stands to reason. Jeff Curry says there was an old man named Dave. He kept a dead whore in a cave. I must admit it stunk like shit, but Christ, think of the money he saved. But not sure if I really appreciate the dead hooker jokes, but hey, you can't win them all, Jeff. Hey, Dana Darton's here. Good to see Dana. Thank you for being here in the driver's lounge. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're just chatting and chitting. We're chatting and chitting and chitting and chatting. Dana says, howdy all, and look at you singing Ray Charles. I saw him live. One of my favorite concerts. Elvis will always be my number one concert. Oh, thank you very much. Thanks, Dana, for being here, though. I do appreciate you. Elvis, my parents saw Elvis. I never did get to see Elvis. My parents went and saw Elvis in concert probably like a couple years before he died. I mean, he was in San Bernardino at the Orange Show, I think. The Orange Show is sort of it's like a fairgrounds, and they had a big auditorium there, and Elvis played there. I think that's where it was. I'm thinking it was like 72 or 3. And I think he still wasn't real super fat Elvis yet. Because I remember seeing pictures and stuff, and then they brought home, I think they had like a program or whatever. And probably still have that somewhere in a box somewhere. But they said it was great and they loved it. And I remember thinking, I was like 12 or whatever. And I was like, I wish I could have gone. I would have loved to have gone, but they didn't take me. They didn't take me to Elvis, man. And then like a few years later, he died. And I was not able to ever see Elvis live in concert. But, you know, Philly 3000, is Radio Shack still around? Laughing out loud. That's a good question, though, because as recently as just a few years, I think I remember seeing Radio Shacks around. But I'm not sure if they're still around. They might be gone. Mad Mac, that's my rapper name, Taj Mahal, baby. Boom, chicka, boom, boom. Hey, Maria Ali is here. Good morning, Truckies. Good morning to you. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us in the old driver's lounge. Always good to see you. Hang out with us for a bit. Roxanne Arfield, Jeff Curry, I'm sort of appalled. Yes. That was very appalling. Steve Sayre says, that's right, TJ can't be run like a business. Jeff Curry, Roxanne, I thought about the pet eating thing that will make you spit through your nose or be very offended. No middle ground. Yeah. Maria Ali says he wants them to show ID before voting, but it's more that he wants the Republicans to implement birth certificate. See, that's the thing. Look, if you want to have a voter ID law or whatever, then it has to be a national thing where it's the same all over across the country, and it's just you have a voter ID card, and that it can't be this. We want you to show your birth certificate. Oh, and you show that. Oh no, well we also need to have this, and oh wait, no, and then it becomes like a Jim Crow kind of thing, right, or whatever. But but you're already vetted when you're registered to vote. You are already vetted. You're already checked out. That's why you get your little voter registration card back in the mail, because the state AG or whoever it is, they have an office, their registrar's office. They check out your whole deal. They check you out. Everything comes back good. Here you are. You're registered. That's really all. That's all you need. But of course, the Republicans are going to cry and bitch and moan, and they're going to try to put up all these obstacles and all these hoops and loops and things you got to jump through and hurdles, because they're a bunch of little pussy-ass bitches. That's what they are, Chad. Republicans are a bunch of pussy-ass bitches, and they want to do all this shit to try to keep people from voting, because you're all a bunch of, I'm going to say it again. I like saying it. You're all a bunch of pussy-ass bitches. So look, if you want to do a voter ID, then you do it right. You do it kind of like how Alice said. You get a national, it's like having a Social Security card or whatever. You get a national voter ID card, and it's free, and everyone gets one, and that's your voter card. And so then you don't have to worry about, I got to show, what do they want this week? I'm supposed to show my hunting license or something. I got to show my NRA card. I got to, I've got to show my ID, but it has to only end in an odd number or whatever, some kind of horse shit. No, we don't play those fucking horseshit games. You want to make a national voter ID system, then fine. Do that. Issue a card. Everyone gets one as soon as they're 18, issued from the U.S. government, and that's your voter ID card. Boom, end of story. None of this fucking jumping through hoops and all that horse shit. All because you fucking pussy-ass bitch, little fucking Republican pussies can't stand it when Democrats show up to vote, because you know you're going to get your ass kicked. Anthony Remirniak says, because there wasn't any phony elections. Non-usual says, the Donald's uniquely refined for, although he's been frequently fined, he will say, I don't mind, because as you'll find, I pass all my tabs to the blind. Quite lyrical there. Non-useful. Quite the lyrical post there. Anthony Rabiniak says, yes, it was till all the people from Kentucky migrated. Jeff Curry says, Roxanne, I don't see it. I'm going to try it on my kids first. They have the same 6 side as me. Maria Ali says, Florida was blue in the Bush v. Gore issue. Probably was for Gore, but Republican plus legacy is just like the royal system they apparently thrive for. Gore did win Florida. He did win. There's no probably about it. Gore should have been president. That was a travesty, a complete travesty. And if there is no clearer argument for the removal of the Electoral College, then I don't know what is. Carol Alana says, Ohio was Democrat in 2008. They lost it over Obama. White bigots. See there. Keith Polite says, Reproductive Freedom Amendment 3 will be on the Missouri ballot this November. Reproductive freedom. Do you think that's going to win, Keith? How's it looking? It probably will. If it's about restoring like Roe v. Wade, then it probably will. Maria Ali says, those earrings she was wearing are the same set along with a necklace that she's worn almost every single time. I believe they must be an heirloom from her mother. Say how shitting and chatting. Try not to do too much shitting. Just shit the shit. Although rather that limerick was deeply inappropriate. Philly 2000, my dad was in a Jim Morrison music video. Cool. Ray Ali says, my namesake was such a big Elvis fan that my little namesake, the one after me, named her son Elvis. So there's one in the family forever. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Maria Ali says, I thought the group that saved GameStop were going to try to bring Radio Shack back next. Yeah, I hadn't really heard anything about that. Oliver Brownlow, and if necessary, documents cost money. It's a poll tax. Right. It should all be free. Like just issue a government issued a voter ID from the government. It's free. And that's all you need, no matter if you're voting in South Dakota or Southern California. You got your voter ID card. Maria Ali says, with all the fraud that Trumpy spews rampantly to do with voting process as it is, does anyone think that his base cult is going to provide that? He's again having them not know their ass from heads. Yeah, that's true. I mean, are they sort of alienating their own base? Julie says, way to go, Chad. Got John wound up. That's why you're here, Chad, in case you didn't know. Delta Dawn says, Fox News has convinced my parents and millions of others, I'm sure, that there is massive voter fraud and that Democrats really do bring illegal immigrants into vote illegally. I know Fox News is really they should be brought down. They should be, wiped out because they've done more harm to this country than anything, probably. Sehal says voter ID has to be offered free, or otherwise it's considered an unconstitutional poll tax, and we've been saying that. Yeah, and Don Musil brings up sort of the Jim Crow stuff. You want to vote? Guess how many bubbles are in a 9-ounce bar of Dial soap? Chad Boswick, I will stop being a pussy ass bitch as long as when Trump wins, you won't be a pussy ass bitch about it. Well, the pussy ass bitch part was about all this stupid bullshit about voter ID and having to show your birth certificate and all that kind of shit. And then all these wild claims about you know, people voting illegal or whatever. And almost every single time, whenever they find you know, someone voted illegally or whatever, it's almost always a Republican. Almost always. I bet you it's like 90% of the time is a Republican. Carol Alana says, red states will let you use hunting license, but not college ID cards. Now Mike Johnson pulled federal budget because they want a bill against illegal aliens voting, which is already illegal. Yeah, that's the Republicans creating issues that don't exist, right? Just because it sounds good in a headline or a blurb, and the low information voters that are so prominent in the Republican Party will just hear that Mike Johnson wants a bill against illegal aliens voting, and they're like, yeah, illegal aliens shouldn't be allowed to vote. Well, you know, guess what? That's already illegal. It's already against the law for undocumented people to vote in federal elections. But they just want the issue, you know, and they just want the headline. Chad Bosick, Mad Mac, I have been decent to everyone. I just expressed my opinion. Chad, you're an animal. Mike, speaking of animals, Mike H is here, otherwise known as Joel. And Mike says, how's it going today, everybody? It's going good until you got here. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Now Chad's got a buddy. It's good to have a buddy, you know. Delta Don says Fox should have had their license revoked after Dominion case. Fucking ridiculous. They're allowed to broadcast at all or have the word news in their title. Exactly. They're not news. Take it out. Strike it. There should be Fox Bullshit Channel. That's what they should. The courts should make them change their name to the Fox Bullshit Channel. Josh says, if you see a payphone outside an open Radio Shack, do you win a prize? Yeah, really. That's like a daily double of old antiquated things that no longer exist. J. Ohio 107 says, if the popular vote was reinstated, Democrats would win every single time, no question. Well, I don't know, by reinstated, I mean, whatever. Mountain bike fans here. Hey, Mountain Bike, good to see you. I didn't catch how Trump tried to slut shame Harris during the debate when he was asked about his attack on her race. Trump said that he read, she puts out, what the fuck? That, no, I heard that, and that I don't believe that's what he meant. I think he meant that she put out a statement. As much as I don't like Donald Trump, you know, if I'm going to be honest, I think that's what he was saying, that she put out a statement, not that she puts out. But that's to his own detriment. If he doesn't know how to speak and he knows all the best words, then he deserves to have that confusion placed upon him. Because he knows all the best words. He's a stable genius, you know. Don't you know that? He's a stable genius, which I think that means he's smarter than horses, maybe. I don't know. Not really sure what that means. Joe Hale 107 says, if it would be cool if you could vote from your phone. Yeah, but I mean, now you're going, maybe going too far. I don't believe there's technology yet as far as making sure that uh, that's a safe way to vote, that things aren't hacked, that things, verifying you are who you say you are and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, maybe someday, but I don't think we're not there yet. Philly 2000 says if they yelled "Sky was falling," they would all run and hide. Mad Mac, I am a legal alien, but I cannot vote because you're not a. Are you not? Are you not a natural? A citizen yet, or whatever, like an actual U.S. citizen? J Ohio, fake outrage. Yes, fake outrage was what I was trying to say earlier. Say how? Have you seen Mike H? What was the one? I'm in junior high. When I was in junior high, they would say, "This is Mike." Here's the Mike H mentality. I think is at junior high level with that name. I remember another one was like, "Don't forget your coat Tex" or something like that. They would say, like trying to say Kotex, Kotex or whatever. But like, hey, don't forget your coat Tex or something. I don't know. I don't think I'm saying it right. Chad says, I do have a head injury, Carol, and I don't appreciate derogatory comments about it. I've been skipping along in the chat, so I don't know if anyone said something about your head. So sorry about that. Maria Ali says, Stephen Sayers, I'm so twisted on what's going to happen. I think that this time the maggots will not be in one place to do their snowing. They'll be doing it in all the states in some manner. Oliver Brownlow, Fox doesn't broadcast, it cable casts. That's true, their cable network. Carolina says Chad wasn't derogatory, however, pussy ass bitch is fossil equivalency. Jolie agrees with me that Trump didn't mean it that way. Zolda Zen says Roxanne Arfield, the Smartmatic case, right? I haven't seen any news about how that is going. Yeah, I think that's coming up soon, though. Oliver Brownlow says Trump is devious enough to intentionally say something that can be interpreted in two ways. I think he's devious, but I don't think he's that smart. I think that was just him talking and doing a word salad kind of talk, But whatever. It's not really something to linger on, I don't think. Roxanne Arfield, I'm not so sure, Trucker John. One of their talking points was that, yeah, that's true, that she slept her way to the top. That is true. That's the only reason why I might even consider it. Because you're right, Roxanne. That was their big talking point, that she slept her way to the top. So yeah, I know, but still, just the way it came out, I don't think that's what he meant. But I guess if he did mean it that way, then that's just another thing for us to criticize him about. Mike H says, you love my name, TJ. Not really, Joel. Sehal says, Trucker John, yes, we're being 12-year-olds, me and Mike H. Yeah, as long as you admit it, then I don't have a problem with it. Non-useful tampon Timmy for Prez someday. Roxanne, that and he is such a pig. Yeah, talking about going back to what he said at the debate. Chad says, Steve, by your logic, it is fine for you guys are in this thing about the thing that I didn't follow all, so I'm just going to skip it because it's I didn't get the whole thing. Carol Lana says, Steve Stayer's Maggot's stated goal is to trigger libtards. They think they're so clever. Yeah, and they've been using that libtard thing for a while. I was way back when my brother and I were still speaking, which is 2016. I don't think we've spoken since 2016. And but I remember he would use the libtard, phrase or whatever back even before then. 2012, 2010, 2012, and to try to trigger me. I'm sorry, I feel like I got a hair or something. So, don't mean to be doing all that stuff. But, they try to trigger you. And then when you try to throw it back at them and you call them, because then they would call us snowflakes. And then so then I would throw it back. If they were complaining or whining, I would call them a snowflake. And then it was like, what? It was kind of funny how if you threw something like that back in their face, then they get all offended, and it's like, why are you calling me names? And you can call me libtard, but I can't call you a snowflake or whatever. I say if you're going to dish it out, you better learn how to take it, I guess. Let's see. Non-useful says the Texas Trump-trained civil suit began Monday. In their suit, they alleged the pro-Trump activists violated state law and the Ku Klux Klan Act of 1871 by engaging in a conspiracy to disrupt the campaign and intimidate those on the bus. They are seeking punitive and compensatory damages as well as attorney fees. That will be an interesting one to see how that turns out. Mike H., your brother is a good man. Fuck you, Mike H. You don't know my brother. Roxanne says, Carol, Lana, don't bother to engage with such ridiculous people. They aren't worth your time. It's probably true. Seha says, at Mad Mac, I want to dig a hole since by law you can only own the top 6 inches of dirt when you buy land, so bury yourself and declare yourself your own country. Carol says, yes, TJ, pot, meat, kettle. After a while, you just ignore them. Yeah, pretty much. All right, guys. So I just wanted to say real quick, because I think the show's about to come to an end. So I just wanted to come in and say hello to everybody. I'm feeling okay. I hope you guys are feeling okay. Hope you guys had a good time talking to Trucker John. And I just wanted to remind everybody, make sure you vote. Go to vote.org, check out, make sure you're registered to vote. And vote however you can, whether it's in person, whether it's at a Dropbox, mail-in, whatever you can do, whatever you feel safe at, and whatever you trust. Just go ahead and utilize whatever is best for you. And don't deny others their choice to vote how they want to vote, as long as it's legal And there's nothing funny, no funny business going on with it. It's just all up and up. We want everything to be on the up and up, and we want to vote, and we really want to make sure that Donald Trump does not get anywhere near the White House. Okay, that's my message. So make sure you vote, show up, be enthused. I'm enthused. I was happy to see Kamala Harris just really tearing into the old Trumpy. So that made me happy. I hope that made you guys happy. And let's just carry that happiness and joy all the way to November 5th. Make sure we vote. All right, so that's it. I just wanted to say hi real quick and hope everyone's doing okay. And me too. You know, old tough cookie here. And I just want to kind of say what Paul was saying. Make sure you vote. And I'm just gonna say vote blue, no matter who. Vote blue for all that's dear to you. I think I've heard that somewhere. You know, if you're all about freedom and choice and diversity, all that good stuff, then you want to vote for Democrats. So make sure you get in there. Make sure you're registered. Make sure you vote. Let's get Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in that White House. Let's get some good things done. All right. Let's move forward. We're not going back. Not going back. We're not going to go back. I don't want to go back to being just a little soft ball of dough. No way. I ain't going back to that. I like being the tough cookie. All right? I'm not going back to being this little, dough ball. Think I want that? Hell no. But make sure you vote and keep Cookie tough. All right. So those guys popped in. All right. Thank you very much. Paul the Bird Guy and Tough Cookie making their appearance with important messages about voting. Non-musical. Vote because your life depends on it. Vote blue for all that's dear to you. Trademark by Trucker John. Philly 3000. I don't mind going back because I remember the mega Powerball numbers. I'll be a trillionaire. It's not a time machine. Actually, it's not like a real time machine. Hey, Mr. Spock is here, I guess. So live long and prosper to old Mr. Spock. Thanks for jumping in. Just as we're jumping out, I'm going to go ahead and call this one. I'm going to probably head out here in a little bit. So thank you guys so much for hanging out on these Thursday Thoughts. Oh, I am going to do sometimes I forget. This is Thursday, so we'll be doing a 3 o'clock House Sparks pre-show hangout. If you guys are up for it. You guys up for that? We'll hang out for about an hour before Hal comes on at 4 Pacific. So we'll do a 3 o'clock Pacific time hangout. So I'm going to go take a little break. Maybe finish my sandwich and all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys right back here on the Trucker John channel, right here, at 3 p.m. Pacific time. How's that sound? I hope you guys are all for it, and I'll see you then. And we'll just hang out and get warmed up, and because Hal can put you through the paces, and you want to make sure you're warmed up so you don't pull a hammy. And so. All right, I'll see you guys at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And speaking of that, I'm going to go do some more stretching. All right, guys, see you then. Bye-bye. Thanks for being here.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. Don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes, but if we did, I'd be only too glad. So high of Easter, baby, the show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid. But doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream, this is where we win, right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, this time to say goodbye, the show is coming in. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry, we're all gonna come back and meet again. Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes, but if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby, the show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving. Who am I trying to kid? At least when I was out there driving, I could handle the skid. Doing this live stream, baby, it's been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again, right here on the Trucker John live stream. We gonna do it again and again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream, this is where we win, right here on the Trucker John. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle the skid. Doing this live stream, baby, it's been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again, right here on the Trucker John live stream. We gonna do it again and again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John last street. We're gonna come back and